storage. Now, storage is really important for video editing because files are really large. Say this is like a simple file, it's not, it takes up some space. Let's see if you want to do high quality audio, high quality video, high quality this stuff, the storage starts just piling up. And you need lots of storage. Now, some inexperienced people will go for external storage, such as this. Now, I'll have to go for something better, like a NAS. Now, what a NAS is network attached storage, and you can get an infinite number of gigabytes of storage, terabytes, petabytes. I wanted a NAS because I'm going to be handling large video files and even larger audio files. But the one issue I have is I am poor. So I set out to do one thing. Make a NAS for less than $100. Now I'm going to cut to a clip with the NAS. Now, the NAS was relatively cheap. I'll give you an overview of the components that I used, such as these screws. Now, these screws I bought for $4.98, $5. This tape, which I used for extra decoration, I bought at the Dollar Tree for $1.25. This foam board, which comes in very large sheets, I bought for around $1.25, and I used only 3 of them, which comes to about $3.75. Now we add this together, that is $5, $10 for the entire case. Now I did use some hot glue to glue it together. I did try pressure fitting it together, but as you can see by this test drive case that I made, it doesn't fit together very well, and I have hot glued this together. This foam is just not high quality enough for me to be able to do that. Now, another thing that I used was my motherboard. So I can't show you the motherboard right now because it's actually what's recording this. You might be able to hear the server in the background. But I used a cheap Core 2 motherboard that I bought off eBay that I was actually planning on using as a main system. Then I realized that would be stupid, and so I just had it. The issue is this board was really cheap, was shipped absolutely horribly. Like, the motherboard is actually bent, and it's actually missing a SATA port, which is quite bad. But the motherboard in total only costs around $40 with the RAM, a processor, and I had a spare Intel cooler lying around, so I just threw it together. That has a Core 2 quad. Sadly, it's only SATA 2, but that doesn't matter, as I'll explain later, because since there's only 4 functioning ports, like barely functioning, I wasn't able to use all my drives. Now, storage is probably the most expensive part of this build. Now, hard drives, you want to get a relatively new with relatively low cycles. If at all, brand new hard drives is what would be optimal. But since we are trying to go for less than $100, we are going for eBay bought hard drives. Now, I had one hard drive that was a 3 terabyte from a Logitech external storage drive. I bought 3 more for the low price of $30. And if we throw an extra $15 based on the it'll be around $45. No, that's not what it costs. Now, if we throw this together, I actually spent only $20 on 3 terabyte hard drives, because those hard drives are inexpensive, cheap, and they're basically everywhere. And if we add another $15 to that, that would be $35 in total for a total of 3 times 12 terabytes of storage. Now only 5 terabytes will be, around 6 terabytes will be usable because I'll be using true NAS and it uses ZFS, which splits the drives into 2 pools of 2, and so that's for if a drive fails, you still have all the information backed up. Now, like I said, I didn't have enough SATA ports to actually put all these directly to the motherboard, and I tried getting a SATA card, but the one I got didn't work with FreeNAS, so I just returned it, and oh no, and I actually happened to have an external drive dock, which TrueNAS detected. Now, the sad thing is the motherboard only has USB 2, so it's not running very fast, but it only cost me $35 for the dock, which would be about the same as a network card. But if I had better planning and bought a motherboard specifically for this, that wouldn't be necessary. Well, so we will not be including that in the final cost. But that's actually not the biggest limiting factor of this. The limiting factor is actually the network. Now, if you want to get a cheap network card, you can get one for around $20. But this motherboard only has 10100 ports on it. Now, if you don't know what that means, this is a really old standard. It means it has 10 megabits upload and 100 megabits download. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. This is all from memory, which means that it's really slow at storing data. So this is sort of a trial run. I hope that the videos comes out at a smooth 60. Based on my screen, it's sometimes coming out at a smooth 60. But no, I'm getting off track here. Let's get back to the cost. So this was $10, including the foam board to tape, and the screws were a total of $10. You can get a glue from the Dollar Tree or from a bin, so we'll add an extra $1.25 to that. So $10.25 plus the $40 from the motherboard, so we got $50 there. Then the $35 for the hard drive, that would be $85. And the fans, I actually bought a couple fans to cool the hard drives down. Now this isn't completely necessary unless you don't feel you want your hard drives to have a long life. I just got these from Micro Center. You can get cheaper fans than this, but I just bought these. These were $5 each. I have 2. I only really needed 1, but I felt like using 2 because that would be smarter. So we're gonna include the price of both for this build, which will be $10, and we'll take 1 off if we happen to go over $100. Now the next thing that I purchased was the power supply, and I completely recommend going for brand new power supply with a brand new, 80 plus bronze would be fine. At around 450-500 watts, you can get one relatively cheap for like $30-40. But I had to go used because $100 is our budget, which is really tight because storage is expensive and the components are. And I got an old Thermaltake Smart SM850 for the low price of $10. You count it, 10. I tested this to make sure it didn't explode and wouldn't kill all my components using a trusty paperclip jumper method. And thankfully this power supply does have a switch on it, so I can use it, direct shut off in case anything bad happened. The only bad noise that I heard was a little bit of bearing noise from the fan. Other than that, that has disappeared after I cleaned the hard drive a little bit. Do not open hard drives. I just cleaned the outside and sprayed some air through it. But works perfectly great. Do not open power supply, so I mentioned that. Now the next thing we'll be talking about is cables. So I bought 6 SATA cables for a low price of $5 off Amazon. I bought orange ones. You can get cheaper one. I just wanted orange because but I bought them for a total of $6 off Amazon, and I had to get a couple adapter cables, for that for my power supply, which all totaled out to around $3. Now, if you know how to do math, you realize that we are over budget by $3. That is the entire power supply. That isn't the entire motherboard. But we can actually make this cheaper if we get rid of this tape. Now we're only over $1. Only $1. No, $2.75. And if we also get rid of one of these fans, we are actually under $100 at, let's see, $96.75 is our total cost for the entire thing. Now, the thing is, this motherboard does not like booting without a display adapter or a GPU, so I have one that I pulled from a bin. But you can find cheaper motherboards than this with more SATA ports, and but they'll literally be bottom of the bin OEM systems. You can actually buy a full built system off Facebook Marketplace and servers for cheaper than this. I recommend going that route because you're more likely to get a reliable machine, although I would make sure you look at the system before buying, because it may have ran millions and millions of cycles of power through it, or could have been running for, constantly 100% for mining or drive storage, network management for the last 10 years, so be careful about that. And you also could have saved on storage. Let's say you go to a dump, you might find hard drives there for cheap, and you could build a more reliable system that's better for much cheaper. But we want full custom. I'll show an image of the server on this setup right here. But ladies and gentlemen, I sure hope you enjoyed that video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Also, there is a power switch that I had to buy. I bought a pack of 2 for $1.25. So that brings us up to, I didn't want to buy one, but I had to because this motherboard isn't very good at what it does. And I'll talk about this in another video if this gets enough views. If not, oh well. Just know that it uses IDE style of SATA controller, so it's really not fun. But I had to buy a power switch because this motherboard won't jump with the connectors. It's got some sort of fail-safe on it that I couldn't disable, but that only cost me $1.25 for a pack of 2, and you could easily save more on that if you have like something lying around. Use a paper clip, a couple wires or something, or if you buy a motherboard and it doesn't need to be jumped. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I sure hope you enjoyed this video. I don't recommend building this, but it does work, and I'll show you an image of it, and it runs, and I hope you sure like this video. Actually, it's being used right now to record, that's why I don't have it here, but I'll show a little, if you watch the short that I made for this, you can see it running under load, and it actually works rather well. Alright, I hope you sure like, subscribe, comment down below, give me advice, and see you next time.